6 advanced Chinese warships set sail for the Mediterranean Sea. Six Chinese warships have been operating in the Mediterranean Sea over the past week, according to China's Defense Ministry. According to a statement from the Chinese Ministry of Defense, the 44th Naval Escort Task Force has been in regular operations in the region since May. Last week, they also conducted a joint exercise with the Omani Navy during a visit to Oman. Following the successful completion of its visit to Oman, the Chinese Naval Escort Task Force arrived at Shuwait Port in Kuwait as scheduled on the morning of October 18. The Chinese maritime group embarked on a 5-day goodwill visit to Kuwait. Guided by Kuwaiti Naval Patrol craft Failaka, warships of the Chinese Task Force, including ship Zibo, ship Jingzhou, and ship Qiandaobu, docked at Shuwait Port, Kuwait, at around 9 o'clock in the morning. They were welcomed by more than 200 people, including representatives of the Kuwaiti military, staff of the Chinese embassy in Kuwait, and overseas Chinese, the Chinese MOD said. The task force hails from the People's Liberation Army Eastern Theater and comprises the Zibo, a Type 052D guided missile destroyer, the frigate Jingzhou, and the integrated supply ship Qiandaobu. Having arrived in the Gulf of Aden north of Somalia 6 months ago, the task force has primarily been escorting shipping missions. However, earlier this month, it passed on its responsibilities to the 45th Escort Task Force, according to the South China Morning Post. Under the command of the PLA's Northern Theater, the new convoy includes the Urumqi, another Type 052 destroyer, the frigate Lini, and the supply ship Dongpinghu. As tensions in the region continue to rise, 6 Chinese vessels operating in Middle Eastern waters became increasingly significant. The news of Chinese warships in the region comes when the United States is ramping up its presence there. Meanwhile, the United States dispatched its most advanced carrier, the U.S. Gerald R. Ford, and its associated battle group to the Eastern Mediterranean. The Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group is en route to the region. The Pentagon recently announced the deployment of an additional command ship, the U.S. Mount Whitney, to the Eastern Mediterranean. On October 19, the U.S. Carney, an Arleigh-Burke-class guided missile destroyer, successfully intercepted and neutralized multiple Houthi missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles in the Red Sea. Interceptions of Houthi launches by the United States are exceptionally uncommon, which adds to the significance of this incident, especially considering the escalating tensions in the Middle East. Notably, in October 2016, the U.S. Mason employed countermeasures to thwart an attempted attack in the Red Sea, which was targeting the Navy destroyer and other ships nearby. In response to that incident, the United States launched sea-launched cruise missiles at Houthi radar facilities in Yemen. Nevertheless, the presence of both Chinese and U.S. warships serves as a clear indication of the involvement of these two global powers in the region. This development comes when tensions have escalated between the two nations due to the Ukraine conflict, with China aligning itself with Russia. Yet the likelihood of these two navies directly confronting each other in this region remains relatively low, as they occasionally do in the Pacific. The Chinese Naval Task Group is engaged in a 5-day goodwill visit to Kuwait. The commander of the Chinese Task Force said, "This year marks the 5th anniversary of the establishment of the China-Kuwait Strategic Partnership and also the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative. It is hoped that this visit will help facilitate mutual understanding and trust and promote exchanges and cooperation between the two countries and militaries." The Chinese MOD said that throughout the visit, both sides will engage in mutual calls, visits, deck receptions, military exchanges, and cultural and sports activities. The PLA Navy's escort missions in the region also allow China to react quickly to any emergencies that could arise. For example, the evacuation of Chinese nationals in Sudan earlier this year, said experts. They opined that those military ships may get involved in evacuation tasks if any situation emerges. Additionally, the U.S. is sending the U.S. Normandy cruiser and destroyers U.S. Thomas Hudner, U.S. Ramage, U.S. Carney, and U.S. Roosevelt. It also is providing Air Force F-35, F-15, F-16, and A-10 fighter aircraft squadrons in the region, according to the Associated Press. The South China Morning Post reported that the 44th Escort Task Force has been involved in escort missions for shipping since arriving in the Gulf of Aden north of Somalia 6 months ago, but was relieved of that duty by the 45th Escort Task Force earlier this month.